as I promised, I am beginning to read The Black Man in America, 1932 through 1954. Let me again introduce myself. I am Gloria Keith with Action Speaks Heritage Excellence Education Journal. And I don't know, I had never read this book before, but it was given to me. And there is a great deal of information, as a matter of fact. It's very compatible with what is going on in today's America society. The Black Man in America, 1932 through 1954, by Florence Jackson, illustrated with contemporary photographs. The content begins with New Deal opportunities, and I will read from that initially. New Deal opportunities. All over the United States, everyone hoped that the Great Economic Depression that began in 1929 would just go away, but it lingered on, and both Black and white people suffered from its effects. By 1933, when Franklin Delano Roosevelt took office as President of the United States, the entire nation was eager to see how he would carry out his campaign promise of a New Deal. The goal of Roosevelt's program were to relieve poverty and hunger, to help the nation recover from the Depression, and to establish economic reforms. Since most Black people were either poor or part of the working class, they too would benefit from the New Deal. President Roosevelt was opposed to racial discrimination. Although the new agencies were established by his administration, did not end segregation or discrimination. They did provide additional opportunities that benefited Black or many Black people. Among the numerous agencies established to administer the New Deal program, those for agriculture and industry were most important to Black people. The Agricultural Adjustment Administration, otherwise named as the AAA, paid cash to farmers who limited the production of basic crops such as tobacco, corn, and cotton. The AAA hoped thereby to increase farm income by controlling production. Many farmers, however, took advantage of the program for their personal gain. Some evicted tenant farmers and fired field hands as they reduced the number of acres they cultivated. Others kept the checks intended for sharecroppers and tenant farmers, both Black and white, many of whom could neither read nor understand their rights. These injustices led to the establishment of the Southern Tenants Farmers Union, which was set up to help poor farmers with their problems. Large landowners refused to recognize the union. They tried also to set poor black and white farmer members against each other. That's how you win, divide and conquer, huh? Meanwhile, the government sent payments directly to the sharecroppers and tenant farmers, but the landowners found ways around even this practice of direct payment. They would evict the poor sharecroppers and tenant farmers and then keep their payments for themselves. Some blacks were more fortunate than the average sharecropper or tenant farmer. Through the Farm Security Administration, over 50,000 families received loans with which to purchase land and improve their property. The Homeowners Loan Corporation helped still others to purchase homes. In addition, the first time the Tennessee Valley authorities brought electricity to many rural homes. Under the National Industrial Recovery Act, two agencies were established: the National Recovery Administration, otherwise known as the NRA, and the Public Works Administration, otherwise known as the PWA. One of the many measures taken by the NRA was to create employment and revive industry by setting standards for minimum wages and maximum hours. A special low wage for Black employees was seriously considered during the early days of the NRA because some people felt that Southern Blacks would be hired only if they accepted lower wages than whites. Equal payment, they thought, would mean that no Blacks would be hired. Urban League officials and other Black leaders fought against the policy of lower wages for Blacks. They believed that Blacks should receive equal pay even though there was a chance of either being fired or never hired. The NRA went along with the Black leaders. As a result of the new policy, a small number of Southern Blacks did lose their jobs, but the fact that the equal wages policy discouraged industry's tradition of lower wages for Blacks was more important. With PWA funds, a number of hospitals, college buildings, and playgrounds for Blacks were built. In addition, slum clearance projects provided low-cost housing in more than 25 cities. The PWA also provided jobs in the construction industry. Its programs concentrated on doing projects such as dams, bridges, and irrigation projects. PWA projects not only stimulated the national economy, but also permanently improved the land itself and increased its use in many ways. For the first time through the Federal Emergency Relief Act, a system of federal relief was begun. It established several agencies, of which the Works Progress Administration, the WPA, which specialized in light public work, was the best known. The major policy of the WPA, however, was work relief. That meant that jobs instead of cash handouts were provided. Food and clothing were given, however, to those in need. Some jobs under the work relief program was provided only to give people work. This made work is known as boondoggling. Never heard of that word. I'll look it up though. The program also undertook such necessary projects as building roads, airports, and schools. Other projects improved waterways and parks, produced plays and concerts, made maps, and published guidebooks. These jobs helped to develop and preserve the skills of numerous Black and white Americans. The work also helped to keep up the morale of people who otherwise would have been unemployed. The WPA called for a quota of skilled Black men to be used in the construction of buildings. In some cities, Black workers were hired, and others, no Black workers were employed, even though public funds were being used. The Federal Arts Project, a branch of the WPA, provided professional and clerical jobs. Black actors, writers, and artists found employment in such cities as Chicago and New York. Today, much of the written material produced by the WPA can be found in libraries. By 1939, over 1 million Black people found employment through the WPA and other such agencies. Jobs for youth were obtained. And I want to share with you a picture of Mary McLeod Bethune. There she is right there. And everybody knows that she helped to begin education for Blacks. And we'll read more about her later. So that is our reading for today. And tomorrow we will continue the reading of The Black Men in America, 1932 through 1954 by Florence Jackson. Thank you very much for listening, and may God continue to bless you until we see each other again. Okay? Gloria Keith with Action Speaks, Heritage Excellence Education Journal. And may God have mercy on you and you get through this pandemic. Thank you.